they still claim themselves as being like, for example, LGBTQ friendly. This is like they're a normal person. I will treat them like a normal person. But why do you exclude men then? I don't understand. Is this called hypocrisy? Hi, welcome back to the castle. We're gonna watch a little bit something that is concerning. It's a video from Misha Petrov. I think we watched one of her videos once before, but I'm not quite sure. But this title was really, let's say, not pleasant to read because it says why anti-man content is on the rise. And it's concerning. It's concerning. I have some things that like some expectations, basically what we're gonna see, but let's see what it will actually be, yeah? So, since Misha will show the TikToks we're gonna see for this topic will be on the right. I thought I will be on the left today, so you can see the whole thing. And let's just go right into it.
We have a male problem. We mean be rude, boycott men. I don't congratulate men for anything.
How I've caught men out.
Wait, I want to read the captions as well. Hold on.
We mean
I'm sorry.
be rude, boycott men. I don't congratulate.
I am a true misandrist. I refuse to uplift men more than their privilege already does. I consciously choose to solely support women in my daily
Congratulate men
life.
for anything.
Okay, interesting.
How I've caught men out of my life.
This is how no, completely how you can as well.
Cheating on men does not exist.
Women deserve revenge.
Imagine if I said
A rough start? Very rough start?
sat here and told you that all women are manipulative, emotionally irrational, incapable of accountability, useless, and all men should avoid interacting with them entirely. Most people would instantly recognize that as bitter, as sexist. So why is it that the female version of that suddenly becomes empowerment? And
It's not empowerment. It's the same thing on the other side. It is not empowerment. You can't do that. You can't just neglect half of the world's population. That goes for both genders and includes all genders.
that's praise. Let's try to figure that out today.
Okay.
Leave men out. My nail tech is a woman. My doctor is a woman. My OB is a woman.
My father is a woman.
My Pebble collection is a woman.
My barista is a woman. The girl that tints my cars is a woman. The person I buy my cars from is a woman. You get the point. I do business with women. And if there is a man, I ask for a woman. Leave them out of the conversation. Leave them out
Of the women's restroom?
of the business deal. Boycott men. Because if it isn't clear, the reason America looks like what America looks like right now is because of men. We have a male problem. Be mean, be rude, carry pepper.
We don't have a male problem. We have a scissor between genders and between groups and cultures who are not willing to put the effort in to understand each other more. And the main problem is we have social media that is pushing those alpha male bullshit, that is pushing this the female energy stuff, so that you have to be feminine, that you have to be this and that way. People try to put a picture on you, and if you don't fit that picture, they will sell goods for you or a service so you get into that picture. And because you see that a lot on social media, you think that is normal, but it's not. You don't have to be the most masculine man alive, and you don't have to be a Barbie doll. You can just be you, and that is perfectly fine. And then just interact with people in a normal way without seeing them as an opportunity or as a way to gain money or a way to gain popularity. Just interact with them as you would like to be interacted with, and that's fine. This is the problem that we have. And the problem is TikToks like this, or I say TikToks, but it's like also in Reels, it's on Shorts, it's everywhere, is that this is not helping the scissors to come closer so we can fix those things and like put more understanding and empathy for everybody in. It just makes everything spread apart more. And this is the concerning part of it.
Spray, a taser if you can, a bang if you can. Carry all of it because they don't understand the word no. The reason they are so
I have to give her credit for that. There's sadly still a lot of people who don't. I say specifically people, right? Because it also happens for females and for others. There are a lot of people who don't accept the no, and that is like, this is where we have to also work with. So we have to figure out, why is that? What happened? How can we fix that? Instead of being angry about it. And like I said in many other videos, I would have all the let's say, that's a bad word, but let's say justification to be mad specifically at men, but I'm not, because of all the harassment I already experienced in my life and the stalking. So as you can see, not everybody has this kind of thing, but yeah.
scared of a matriarchy is because of what they did to us with the patriarchy.
That assumes that women are inherently morally superior rulers, but history does not support the idea that any group becomes virtuous once given power, okay? All humans are capable of cruelty regardless of gender. So I seriously doubt it would be some kind of utopia.
They may play dumb, but they know exactly what they did to us. Uno reverse men.
I would not even say that.
Dog them out.
She has
be rude.
That what she does, it kind of, that is something that a lot of people do, which make those kind of TikToks. What she does is like throwing a lot of buzzwords, like kind of thing, or like buzz phrases, basically. Like they know what they do to us, yada yada yada.
I cannot stress this enough. Women deserve revenge. Cut them out of the conversation. Cut them out of everything. Decenter them. Them. But what do I know?
Not much, apparently.
No, not much.
Except how to press record and probably eat a lot. But I'm curious, would you say this to a black man? Would you say this to a black gay disabled man? Because usually with these people, this only applies to a certain kind of man. Imagine.
Yeah, they're just angry and mad at something, and they don't know probably what to do with that, and that is their response of what they experience instead of processing it properly, maybe.
If this rant was about someone refusing to work with a certain race or a certain religion or ethnicity because they blame them for society's problems and now they want revenge, I think most people then would instantly recognize that as irrational. They would get offended. She is so obsessed with hating men. She centers men so heavily that she has made misandry her entire identity. Okay, and that is sad. There is a difference between being cautious, recognizing potential danger, being smart, versus walking through life viewing half the population as evil by default. Okay.
Yeah, because no, it's not this way, and this should never be this way. Nobody's evil by default. Nobody.
Okay, there is a difference, and you will just be paranoid, isolated, and unhappy if you choose the latter. Also, we just
like, maybe she even wants like a fulfilling relationship if she doesn't have one. I don't know her, but if she just demonizes everyone who she's meeting and like has this stigma towards people, like she will never find that. Where does she expect to find it?
deserve revenge. Women deserve revenge. Revenge for what, specifically? Against which men, specifically? Your teenage cashier that you refuse to speak to? A random Uber driver? Her male dentist? The f did they do? Having basic decency nowadays is enough to get you called a pick-me, and it's getting more and more ridiculous. You don't want to kill half the population? You're a pick-me. You recognize there are evil men and there are good men? Pick-me. But you're not doing women a favor.
I'm sorry, I'm blocking the cat, by the way. It's a very cute one, look.
By assuming every woman is this cute angel and she could do no wrong. Bitch. And then
yeah, the female part is also problematic in its own way.
Fortunately, she is not the only one who has this worldview. I am a true misandrist. I refuse to uplift men more than their privilege already does. I consciously choose to solely support women in my daily life.
Since there are
That's it's not fixing anything. Like I said, it's not those type of behavior will not fix the problem. It will just make it worse. And this is something they don't want to understand.
A lot of women, including lesbians, who are scared to be true misandrists.
Because I'm a lesbian, I have to be a misandrist. So we're off to a fantastic start.
I'm gonna start telling y'all misandrist things that I do. If a man tells me something that he's doing that I think is actually something that is kind of cool, I like to look up and see if there's a woman who's already doing it and
Okay.
support her instead. If a man has an idea that I actually think is a good idea, I go ahead and make sure that a woman hasn't already had that idea, and I go ahead and support.
But what is the point of doing that? Just why do you fixate so much on the gender if you can just acknowledge a person as a person, no matter who they are? If they have a good idea, then be like, hey, cool, that's a good idea, let's go do it. Why does it have to be tied to a gender? That is, I don't understand this fixation. Why it has to be like that?
For a woman who is already doing whatever that.
And then the thing is, when people, this is something that I also witnessed, like a lot of I'm sorry, I have them in my eye. When a lot of people say stuff like that, especially in the female spectrum, yeah, they usually are still very, like, they still claim themselves as being, like, for example, LGBTQ friendly. So they see the person as a person because it's not a straight man, you know. But then in this case, you say they're a normal person. I will treat them like a normal person. But why do you exclude men then? I don't understand. Is this called hypocrisy?
A man is doing, because if a man has an idea, there's a woman who's already done it. If a man created an organization, there's a woman who's already been doing that for 20 years. If a man,
yeah, because there are so many billion people on the planet, of course probably there is someone already doing it,
has a come to Jesus moment or an epiphany, there's millions of women who have already come to that conclusion themselves. I don't congratulate men for anything.
I'm supposed to agree with her because I'm a lesbian, right? Just because I am not attracted to men, I have to automatically resent or despise them all. I'm always curious about...
Yep. Probably. No, absolutely not. I like the humor of Misha in this case, and I also really like her earrings and necklace combination. Looks so pretty. I'm so sorry.
And straight women who hold this belief: you don't have a single man in your life who has helped you view men as human beings. Really. Not a father, not a brother, not a friend. There's no man that you have encountered in your life that you can respect.
This is something that I can't believe, but because, like, you can't neglect half of the population with one TikTok, because especially her, she was probably like mid 30 something. The previous TikTok woman. You had so many encounters with men. So where is it coming from?
That you care for? It doesn't have to be romantic or sexual.
Yeah.
You do know that, right?
There's not a success that a man can gain that I will celebrate over a woman's success. If a man did it, a woman probably did it better, and I'm going to find out who she is, and I'm going to congratulate her instead.
This is such an unfortunate...
Okay. This is just like the other case, not helping the problem.
Unfortunate stereotype, and it's because of lesbians like this. And if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, the whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Straight men, for example, they are not attracted to other men, yet most of them still manage to love their fathers, their brothers, their friends, their mentors.
Or also like seek a connection to other men, like not in a sexual way, of course not, but like in a friendship way, in a deep meaning way, like having deep conversations. I know because of our daily posts that so many of you would like that. And so why can't we just not care about the gender and just have deep conversations with everybody in this case? It is fine to seek it from your own gender because it is a little bit different feeling. I understand that. But overall, we should normalize deep, normal, on a friendship base level, deep conversations, some fun, some activities where it doesn't matter what you are, and that should be the focus.
Co-workers, sons, or at least not hate half the population. So regardless, by the way, of your trauma that you may have endured, I do think probably a majority of these women unfortunately were abused by men. Even then,
and then probably that's the way how they express and cope with the trauma, I think. I'm allegedly. This is a word I need to learn more. Allegedly.
it's important to recognize that there are good men and there are evil men. There are good women and there are evil women. Do you see gay men?
And quite a lot, actually, here and there.
At least in these numbers, right? Going online, talking about how much they hate all women.
But do I not stop talking with women? No, I don't. But I also had bad experiences with women. Or back then, like teenage time. Who didn't had like the female bullies and the male bullies and whatever? It doesn't matter. Everybody had something like that.
Because they're not.
The thing is, females bully differently than men.
Attracted to them. No. Straight, gay, whatever. But we have men that we respect. Recognizing that does not erase your trauma or mean you have to trust men in general. Because again, there are good men, there are bad men. Same with women. But
it is okay to be cautious. I would say being cautious is fine, especially when you had multiple bad experiences. Like from my perspective, with my experience that I had, I'm always very cautious when I travel to Germany now because I'm traveling alone. It's a long ride with the trains, with multiple trains. I have to switch them. Sometimes there are problems because the German train system is trash. So I am cautious and I have my mechanisms how to deal with it. So I'm looking for like groups of people where I think, okay, they look kind of nice. I'm standing next to them. So if I need help, I can immediately step to them and ask them, hey, I don't feel well. Is it okay to be there? But I look for, it doesn't matter which gender I'm looking for. They just have to have like a friendly first impression basically. And this is where I'm just standing. I'm not communicating with them. And this is just, it gives me a feeling of safety, but it's not specifically a group of females. It's not specifically a group of males. It can be a mixed group. It can maybe be even a couple. That is very, very good. If it's a couple, usually that's high success, that you feel very safe. So see, why should it is okay to be cautious, especially when you had multiple negative experiences, but you can't demonize everybody.
Generalizing a gender like this is illogical.
This is how I've cut men out of my life.
And then the alpha males will tell you, hey, females are so illogical. They cannot have rational thinking. You're basically doing what... You're basically filling out the own stigma again that is against you already on the planet. That is so funny to me. They're doing exactly that, what the other side is preaching and how they're like pushing yourself. And then like, let's say male watch this and they also watch the alpha male content, and then they're like, okay, alpha male says women are irrational, they are crazy, and then you watch something like this as a couple TikToks, and then you also like you get the validation because of what the alpha male is saying, but the alpha male is also wrong. We have a problem. Can we just talk to each other in a normal way, please?
Life completely, and how you can as well. I'm right now at 7B status, so there is 4B, which is no sex with men, no marriage, no babies. I already do that. 7B is the most extreme level of not having to interact.
I never heard of 7B. I know 4B from the Korean statement, but I'd never heard of 7B.
With men at all. So the first thing is I'm very mindful about the media that I consume. I don't read love stories, dating rants. It's just not applicable to me because, when you're consuming somebody's story, then you take on their energy and you take on their frustration, and then it becomes your problem as well, especially if you're quite an empathetic person and you're very sympathetic.
Imagine one of her friends goes up to her and she's like, this is what's happening with my relationship. I'm really upset. She's like, shut up. I do not want this energy.
I don't want to hear that. So stupid.
I think this is so selfish. You don't have to date, but you should be a normal person.
So instead,
you still should have the empathy to help your friend who has a problem with the date or the partner, whatever.
I read educational content, true crime to keep me aware.
99% of the
Okay.
The time, true crime girls.
Mm-hmm.
Are there some normal ones out there, the true crime fans? I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I have yet to meet one. You just said, I don't want...
I'm not a true crime fan. I just watch it sometimes. But like I said, I already had a few bad encounters, and I still don't demonize men. Why should I? There's no reason.
bad energy in my life.
Like all men.
You're watching true crime? Oh, and then he kidnapped her and he mutilated her. And is that good energy? Is that cute to you? Is that better than a rom-com, let's say?
I love poetry.
Just read a smut book. It's even better.
About self-love and healing and anything to do with enhancing my hobbies and bringing me closer to any goals that I have, any skills that I want to learn. It just makes me really excited about life because none of that has anything to do with a man, and it's very fulfilling.
Yeah, true crime usually has something to do with men.
I mean, it's nice that she is like educating herself new skills. I give her that point. I really love that too. I love to learn. So it feels very fulfilling. I can really recommend that. Just learn some random stuff. It's perfect. But you don't have to center it around the hate towards men that you have. You just can learn something. It doesn't have to be because you hate men. It can just be because you like learning.
It's very rarely about two women or even about the woman committing the crime. It's usually the guy committing the crime, girl. You should know that.
Second thing I do is if I'm ever in a situation where I have to choose between talking to a man or a woman, I will always defer to the woman. The man does not even exist. I completely ignore his presence, and most of the time they do get it. So like when I'm checking into hotels, at airports, things like this. And you know what? Even if he's hurt, let his ego be wounded.
You're not there to...
How can you live like that? How can you navigate through life like that? I don't understand.
To be a normal human being, right? To say hi to both people.
You're not there to defer to him or to acquiesce to any of his little fantasies that he might have about you.
But why do you already put him in such a bad light? You just met them maybe the first time.
Okay, wait. So now you're worried about the fantasies they may have about you. Girl, good luck in life. Oh my god. If we would worry about that, no one would ever be happy. Maybe that's why they're not happy. Here's what you have to understand. You cannot control what other people are fantasizing about or what they think about you or, you know, their opinion. None of that is in your control, and that is none of your business. You're not intimate with that guy, the cashier.
The only thing you have control over if they express something towards you is how you react. This is what you have control over. How you react, how you talk to them, and how you behave. But that goes for everybody. It's not specifically for females. It's for everyone.
Whoever's checking you into the hotel, you want to control what he's thinking about. Like, I'm so sorry. You need to get over that. But also to pretend that women
maybe you also need a little help.
Never have bad thoughts about men or about other women. It's not true. These people are delusional and naive when it comes to the way that they view women. Pretty sure most of these women are probably hurt by men. That does not give you
most likely, allegedly,
an excuse to treat every man like trash. I want to make sure that his ego is hurt. I want him to notice that. And who's to say he's thinking about you in some highly inappropriate way? If he's, for example, just trying to check you in. Like, it's this assumption. And even if that's the case, again, not saying that's great, it's not. But girl, who the f cares? You cannot go through life caring this much about other people's opinions. And
it costs so much energy to care about others' opinions as well. This is like something I see a lot of, and this is like not specifically gender related, but like VTuber related, basically. Like on Twitter, I see so many things where like, what about this? I could do that. How do you like this? I see many people do that. Just do your way. Just go your path. You got this. You don't need 1,000 opinions, and then you don't even like read them. Basically, for example. You just, I don't know. Sometimes it's just engagement bait. I think, but it's kind of the same. Like don't be so centered about all the opinions of all people. If you did something bad and people are mad at you, you should reflect. Or if you are, or maybe you didn't know how to word something and then you made someone upset, you should apologize and reflect. That is okay. But going through life thinking about every little thing that might be happening or going on is so exhausting. And trust me, from in a slight autism spectrum perspective, because I think a lot. What I do, how I look like, how I behave, how I talk with other people, because I still navigate through it, to do it like socially appropriate, basically. This is very difficult and it's very exhausting. So stop it. Just save yourself from it.
And what they're thinking about privately in their head. Also, denying yourself love if you actually do want a man, right? But because of your movement, you're like, no. I will not date. I will not watch anything
That's
involving
so
men,
sad.
except true crime, of course, where they kill women. Great. And in
That's so
fact, I will ignore
sad.
their presence. That brings me pleasure to know that their ego was hurt.
You just directly deal with the woman, have a stress-free experience, because otherwise, you know, with the man, maybe he's going to be a little bit condescending to you, or he probably won't take your concerns very seriously.
Yeah, but it's still assuming. Why do you assume? If you talk to them and then you notice it, that's a different story. If you talk to them and you notice, hey, we don't vibe, or that's what I also have. This is something that, from many experiences, I prefer a female doctor most of the time. That depends on my problems, because so many times male doctors were just not properly listening to me, and that does something with you. I still prefer, like, my dentist can be like, I prefer a dentist as a man, but like, like a gynecologist, I prefer it to be a woman. But that's personal preference, because we all have experiences. And if there would be a moment where I have a female dentist, what the fuck, I care. But like, I had so many bad experiences with both type of doctors. I just don't trust doctors at this point anymore. But sometimes it was a bit energy depriving to explain a male doctor what my problem was, and it was easier with a female one. I understand that. So my personal preference, because of my experiences, is I go to a female one. I don't say all male doctors are bad, do I? Because how could I know if I don't try it out? Maybe there's one in a specific field who's really good at it, and then why should not use the service and just look for a woman for 5 years and then probably have a bad experience overall with a sickness or something. You can have preferences, that's okay. But neglecting or demonizing or pushing away everyone with an expertise, this is not the way to go. Like a lot of scientists, for example, do you want to discredit all the scientists, like the male ones, because they're men and you don't trust them, what they're like researching? That's stupid.
So just cut out all of the toxicity.
Women are never toxic, girl. You're so right.
Go straight to the woman.
Yeah, the women are always angels and always know what they're doing, and it's not. They don't know every time what they're doing. They're not angels. There's some really where I think, boy, how did she went through life with all that toxicity around her?
Only deal with the woman. The third thing I do is when I'm walking on the street, I'm aware of men, but I don't acknowledge or make eye contact with them. I look right through them, and this has really helped me just in terms of just remaining in a good mood, focus, because if I'm looking at a guy looking at me, or just being a weirdo, then I'll get stressed and I'll get anxious. Like I said, always be really aware, but don't allow their negativity to permeate into your being, because you will carry that with you for the rest of the day.
You seem very, very sensitive to a look a man gives you, potential thoughts the man may.
I wonder, like if you live in a very busy city, for example, like here in a rural village, you see like a couple people per day if you go outside. That's not so bad. But like if you live in a very busy city where you have people all the time around you, how do you navigate?
They have girl, how have you made it this far in life?
Yeah.
You cannot be this sensitive. I'm sorry. And it doesn't matter if this was a guy saying this about a woman. This is crazy. You need thicker skin, like for your own good, girl. Okay. You may be deep in this, energies, and I can't look at that person because the energy might be off. Okay. You need to focus on what's in your control.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Be vigilant. Carry self-protection. I'm all for it. Be smart. 100%.
Yeah.
Don't trust everyone that you
Be aware, be cautious. That's all fine.
interact with, obviously. But to go through life like this, oh my God, he looked at me, the energy, I need to protect my chakras. Girl.
And now this has
This is
permeated my
just
being so deeply
making
that
you
I don't even
unhappy
get
at this
approached
point.
in bars, in clubs. My energy is just so blocked off. I'm there with my girlfriends to have fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it's because your energy is so blocked off. It might be because you're sitting there like this, looking at men like this. Like that might have something to do with it. If that makes you happy that no one's approaching you, okay. But also think about what you look like. You might not even realize it, but you're probably sitting like a little bit crazy. Again, this does not
Maybe.
mean you have to start dating.
Allegedly.
You are probably a straight woman. You want deep down love, companionship, marriage, children, perhaps, whatever. Let's say that's the case. Romance, at least.
Yeah, how does she
Emotional
find
intimacy,
a
at least.
man
It's
if
so
she's
sad
like
because you're
this?
convincing yourself to reject
Yeah.
all of it because of
Yeah.
an ideology that men are inherently toxic, no matter
Yeah.
what. None of
Yeah.
this is to say that some men don't do the same or some men don't go out.
It's like, it feels a bit like self-torture. No? Kind of, because you want something, but you're so into this idealistic perspective that you just neglect everything, and then you will never have it.
And hurt women because
And-
we know
And I'm telling you, regret is the worst feeling you can ever have.
that's the truth. Okay, we know that misogyny exists. We know that violence for men exists. The answer is not to ruin your own life by
Yeah.
dehumanizing all men and talking about men the way that people talk about contaminations to avoid, not human beings. Okay, some men are kind, some men are rude, some are intelligent, some are immature. Exactly like
Like exactly like
Women.
woman,
On
yeah.
that
What
note,
did you
I'm now
say?
very
Like, what would I
intentional
say?
about the
Ma?
company that I keep, especially with girlfriends. So if you are around women who are very boy crazy, they will not understand or respect your wish to not interact with men.
if she does not want to date men and she's telling her friends this and they're still like, no, like we have to find you someone, then yeah, those aren't people you want to be around. But also maybe they have just noticed that you're being extremely rude to every man that you see, which has
Or they know that you actually want a partner, and they want you to be happy, so they're kind of trying to drag you out of this weird bubble you're in because they're worried about you, so that you will, like, cannot make it by yourself, which is a fair claim by them, as allegedly. Always just allegedly.
has nothing to do with dating.
And they will keep trying to coerce you to hook up with someone when you're not comfortable doing that. And they won't try to understand your motivations behind it. They often, you don't even understand your trauma around men, so I wouldn't even bother trying to explain it because it just puts you back in that place of
Yeah, then if you already if you already say it's a trauma about men, then maybe talking to someone professionally would really help you. And there are a lot of female professionals. I'm pretty sure at this point they're also like specialists for this kind of cases, because the trauma of women that they get from men is statistically super high. Super high. I'm not saying that there's also the statistics for men is not the same height or something like that, but you just hear more about it. And I'm pretty sure if men would allow themselves, that is the thing, if men would allow themselves to also talk publicly about it, or like normally about it, you would also see how much trouble men have with women. And it's not like I said, it's not a stand against them, it's an overall problem that everyone has, and we should all tackle it together, by like showing understanding, showing a couple problems, thinking together, how could we fix it, what could we do, is there kind of way to cope around it. This is a societal problem, and only the society as a whole can fix it. But the thing is, the people who think like that are not enough yet. So we have to keep pushing that we slowly grow more and more understanding for everybody, and more empathy again for everybody. And this is, I think, a good way to start tackling it.
Stress. Only request women for your services always. I don't interact with men at all. Educate yourself on the role of...
Is he just staring at them? Like, imagine I would be a man right now, like, being at the register, and she wants to buy a bottle of water. Is she just not talking to me? Or, what? How? Yeah.
men when women are no longer presentable to them, or fun, or playthings. 20% of men leave their wives or partners when they're experiencing a terminal illness. I know you think that romantic love is going to come in and save you, and that men are going to give you what you've been...
Yeah, but what is the statistics on the female side about it?
Yearning for your...
Like, we should, when you say statistics like that, you always should consider the statistics for the other gender.
Whole life. Ask yourself, where did I get those ideas? Movies, music. Someone's going to complete you.
Well, that last part, I agree with her. No one is going to complete you. You should be a whole person on your...
You should be your own completion. And if you don't feel complete yet, it's okay. And it should not be the responsibility of someone else completing you. That is your task. That is your business.
Own, and then whoever you end up with, they should add to your life, and then together it's just even better. Otherwise you're always going to be searching for someone to fix you, right? To complete you, and that's not going to be a help.
A relationship will not fix you. You do that by yourself. I know not many people want to hear that, but this is the way, and you got this, and I believe in you.
Healthy relationship. So that I agree with her. Doesn't matter if you're dating a man or woman, but pretty much everything else she said was batshit insane. Like, that was crazy. You can go on talking about positive energy. I'm so positive. You just sound like the most negative person, personally, I've ever heard from.
Yeah.
That was awful. You're blocking yourself off emotionally, cutting...
I don't even know how, I mean, this is like a video now that we're watching, right? This is like, but I don't even know how I would respond or interact with that kind of standpoints. Like, what do I do with her? Where do I go? What do we talk about? I mean, I could talk about my work, but since many of you here are male, that will be upsetting for her, probably.
Female friends who still enjoy romance or dating, interpreting ordinary social interaction as potential threat to her peace. That does not sound like freedom to me, okay? No. It just sounds exhausting. And I actually think it's dangerous to teach women that every positive desire they have for love or partnership of some kind, right? Intimacy is just brainwashing for movies or shows or, you know, songs, whatever. Humans are social creatures. Wanting connection is not weakness, all right? Wanting romance is not anti-feminist. The solution...
This is just a normal desire, and that is okay for everybody, right? You deserve that. You deserve having a loving partner. You deserve having kids if you want to. You deserve having a dog. It always, at some point, I hope it will find a way into your life. That is it. No matter who you are right now, no matter who you are, who is watching, I hope you will become a happy person, so we can work against this craziness that is coming from, for example, alpha males, but also this type of females.
Solution to unhealthy relationships.
I don't know how to call them, so I just say this type of females because I'm not aware of if they have like a group name like the alpha males does.
Is standards, boundaries, right? Self-respect, not convincing yourself that all men are predators, evil, just there, you know, waiting to abandon you the second life gets difficult. Again, if these people had positive male figures in their lives,
they would think completely different. Completely different, yeah.
I think they would not hold this belief. It's not their fault if they didn't have a father figure, right? Like a grandpa, an uncle, I don't know, someone in the family.
It's also not their fault if they were harassed, or even worse, it's also not their fault. That's not in their responsibility. But what is in your responsibility is like maybe seek help, work with your trauma, because you're just putting yourself in a cage, and this is just leading into more isolation and more sadness, and I don't think that people want that by themselves, actually.
obviously, because if they left or God knows what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad that
Yeah.
so many of these women and men, men growing up without any men in their family,
Yeah.
mentors, friends, whatever, it usually does cause issues in adulthood. Let's
Yeah.
collectively leave men behind.
I just think it would be amazing
Oh boy, why is she so wiggly with her camera?
if women started leaning into friendships with other women and strengthening their bonds with their families and finding passions and hobbies and things that they love, and we start leaving men to be by themselves and let them figure out what the they got going on, and then we just be happy.
She also put
Yeah, but that's not fixing that. It's not helping the problem. It's not helping the problem. What else should I say? I don't know.
a hashtag misandry. Genuinely, feminism. I love women. Men can eat shit and burn for all I care. It does annoy me that these people seem to think all women are angels. They're easier to date. You hear this a lot from straight girls, right? Oh, I wish I was a lesbian. It would have been so easy.
No, it's not. I heard from a few lesbians who I can call my friends in my hometown. It's horrible.
No, bitch. No.
It's horrible.
No,
sometimes.
women can be toxic. Women can lie. Women can
Yeah.
be mature. Women can be batshit insane. Sexuality is not a choice. You
They
should
can also be abusive, either mentally or physically. Can also all happen. Already heard a lot of stories. It's the same.
just accept the fact that you like men, if that's the case, and maybe not dehumanize all of them. Again, that does not mean there aren't bad men out there, but let's use our brains. It's so ironic because this whole movement, it claims to reject male
Like, you also never give a person a chance. How would okay, so this is why I live by the standard. I treat people how I want to be treated. Imagine you are meeting someone. Let's say you meet a lesbian and you think she looks stunning and she's interesting and stuff like that, but because of her experiences, she is very she has a very big blockage, like big block basically. And she doesn't want to talk to you that much, or she doesn't want to meet you again and stuff like this. Would you still be upset? Like, if she is blocking you off right away because maybe she heard about something, can also be, right? Or whatever. She is just blocking you off for no reason because of something that happened to her. And even though she's looking for a relationship, and even though she's a lesbian, she still doesn't want anything from you because of her experiences. You wouldn't like that to be blocked out of existence, right? I don't think so. And why do you do that to someone else? I don't understand. Or if you meet someone who's LGBTQ, had bad experiences with women, maybe can happen, and then they're blocking you out as a person, and then you never have the chance to see if this could be like a fruitful friendship, if it could be like a long form friendship where with everything being just positive and nice, if you would have just give yourself a chance, if you do not block them out. I don't understand.
validation.
I don't
So
understand
much
at
of
all.
it, though, revolves entirely around men. Every interaction, every decision, every friendship, every career move,
Very male centered because of how they want to try to avoid them. Their life is very male dominated because of their fears,
becomes filtered
which is silly because that's what they don't want. It's kind of ridiculous.
through male avoidance in this case. Strong female friendships are important. Okay,
Yeah.
family bonds matter. Hobbies, purpose,
very.
education, independence, all of that is great. All of that matters. The problem is this bizarre need to attach it to hatred of men. All right? You do not need to despise men in order to value women. A healthy woman can
Or value a friendship between women and stuff, or like a strong family bond. So would they neglect their fathers? Good question, right? It's a man.
have passions, friends, boundaries, self-respect, and still fall in love, still trust selectively, still have meaningful relationships with men without betraying herself.
What separates me as a misandrist from feminists is that my hot take is that you cannot cheat on men.
What?
It's not
And why you can't?
possible. Like, that doesn't exist. Cheating on men does not exist. Men cheat women out of joy and opportunity every single day of their lives, like it's their job.
Oh my god, what men
And what do women do?
are you guys hanging out with?
They're conditioned from birth, and they have been conditioned for generations, like centuries and centuries, millennia. So there's no such thing as cheating on men. Say you're in a hetero relationship with a male, you can do whatever you want. It's not called cheating. It's not called cheating.
This is harmful. This is harmful for, like, the thing is, it's on TikTok, right? I don't see how many views it has. I don't see the comments. But let's assume, because videos like this, especially if they're, like I said in the beginning, videos like this, and if you see them more and more and more, your brain kind of starts to believe this does not apply to everybody. But for some people, the brain starts to believe that this is the reality, this is the truth. And then they either make also TikToks about it, or they ruin their relationships because of it. And this relationship ruin just leads probably into another trauma, which just spirals into a negative thing. Why do they do that? Why do they cause so much public? I mean, she can have her thoughts, okay? She can have her thoughts. The problem is she's shouting her thoughts into the world with the potential possibility of influencing someone in this way. And then there's someone maybe cheats in their relationship and think this is normal, and then has all the problems with the relationships, and then just probably will be isolated because of that. And this is why I don't understand. You can have your thoughts, but this is something you have control over. You have control over what you shout into the world, what you're shouting, or like what you're saying to other people, because you always have to be aware that you might influence someone with it, especially if it's on social media, especially if the algorithm pushes it.
You are barely even leveling the playing field. You are just fine. I want you to feel zero guilt, because men aren't even capable of feeling guilt for like a shred of the shit that they do to us.
Like, men aren't even humans.
So yeah, hot take it or leave it. Don't care. It's the truth.
If they want
Okay, just I don't know. Talk to someone.
to reproduce, it's probably not a great idea, because even if it's a little girl that these women become mothers to, it's not great for them to pass on this hatred.
Yeah, that is another thing. If you become a mother and you teach that to your child, that's the same thing as influencing someone else. You're just by default ruining their handling of relationships
to that child. People from this
And I don't
demographic
understand why
have
they do that.
historically wronged us, therefore lying to them, using them, abusing them, betraying them, cheating on them, that no longer counts as immoral. But the thing is, deception, betrayal, that's still deception, betrayal. That's still a violation of trust between two people, two human beings. It doesn't matter the gender. All right? There are selfish men, there are loyal men, there are selfish women, there are loyal women. But extremist ideologies
it's
always
everywhere.
rely on flattening people into these caricatures, right?
Men bad, women good.
Because nuance makes hatred harder to sustain. But all of
And then on the other spectrum, you have alpha male say, woman bad, woman irrational, man good, man need to do this, yada, yada, yada.
this, by the way, infantilizes women. Do you guys notice this? They pretend to empower them. But if a woman cheats, she lies, she manipulates, she betrays someone, she still made a moral choice, because men bad. The truth is, she's still responsible for her behavior.
The amount of straight women I know that have hooked up with
Okay.
other women before is crazy to me. And it's wild because they'll just admit it so casually. They reach a certain point in life where they're like, men have just disappointed me spiritually, emotionally, financially, sexually. Let's see what women are about. And then they come back devastated and forced to accept the reality that they unfortunately still like men, like it's some kind of terminal illness. And even if they haven't experimented, they still say things like, God, I wish I were a lesbian. I hate men. And I get it. Men are a lot, and I say that as one. Women want things like emotional intimacy, and their dating pool is full of men who are like golden retrievers that haven't been fixed yet. We're gross,
Oh.
we're loud, we never really reach emotional maturity, and we have horrible thoughts 90%.
But you can though. Like, even if you say already, yeah, we cannot have that. We cannot have emotional maturity. We cannot have empathy. We don't have that. You don't give yourself a chance to even try to have it. Just don't disappoint yourself before you even start it.
At the time, and the other 10%
Okay, actually pick me, choose me.
and it's just like nothingness. But I do find it funny that so many straight women have tried to transfer departments. They went to lesbian orientation, they met with the advisor, only for their body to be like, unfortunately, we're going to stay in hell. And that's the tragedy of human sexuality, really. Like, it's absolutely
Is
not a
that
choice.
so?
Because if it were, half these women would have left men years ago.
And then half those women would have realized that other women could be just as bad.
Yeah, that is the thing. It is just the same on the other side.
Straight women seem to assume that lesbian relationships automatically create some kind of emotional enlightenment, right? Perfect communication, spiritual depth,
No.
eternal empathy.
Maybe if you meet the right woman, yeah, but you could also just meet the right man. It's the same thing.
No, like, no, not at all. Women are
Yeah.
human beings.
Yeah.
Women can be selfish,
Yeah.
emotionally avoidant,
Yeah.
manipulative, immature, jealous, controlling, cruel,
Yeah.
impulsive, toxic. All of that, okay,
Yeah.
exists.
They can all be the same way.
Lesbian relationships are not magically exempt from conflict or heartbreak or betrayal or insecurity or power struggles. None of those things come from just men. So they come from being a human being.
Yeah.
And I think some women romanticize lesbian relationships because they are, yes, okay, exhausted with modern dating, and then they project their fantasies onto us and think, oh, see, you must have it so easy. No, bitch.
No.
Because they think women are supposedly like softer and safer and wiser and more emotionally evolved than men by default.
No.
There are some great women out there.
That's also just all skills that people can learn. And then you can maybe have a woman who has the skill set. That's why you're dating. That's why you get to know each other, to see if the people have the abilities that you, or like the same principles for a relationship stuff, that you see a relationship the same way, basically. But it's the same process. You still have to date them. You just get to know them, and then you have either to try it or not, because if it matches or not. The same is with men.
There's some shit women out there, all right? And you are doing yourself a disservice by generalizing all women as great, all men as bad. Not only disservice, it's dangerous to think this way.
Yeah.
All right, don't do that.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you actually get
Oh gosh. Being offended by misandry is a sign of misogyny.
your feelings hurt by them girls talking about they hate on men, kill men, all that shit, you're kind of lame. In real life, that shit's just such a non-issue, bro.
I think people underestimate how culture shapes relationships over time. If large numbers of straight women genuinely internalize the idea that men are inherently selfish, they are predatory, they are all disposable, how exactly does that create healthy relationships between men and women? Because relationships
It will just make it worse. Like I said.
require trust, empathy, okay, basic respect. You can't build stable intimacy while viewing your partner as a morally inferior life form you secretly resent. That's not gonna work. The answer is not spiraling into misogyny.
That's also like when you hear an alpha male, yeah, I have so many women here and there. Yeah, but it's just so surface level what you have of those women. You will never get a deeper level, because you specifically pick the woman who just see the money or the value in you as a little cash cow, let's say that in the worst case. And they also will not build the emotional trust that you would like to have. This is why in the dating phase, or in the where you get to know people, you need to see if they have the same emotional like goals. Maybe they struggle with things. That's okay. We all struggle. We don't have to be perfect. But you just need to see if you're on the same page on multiple skills that not many people talk about. Like if you are emotionally on the same level, if you have empathy for different things. Maybe someone, I don't know, the one person really likes dogs and would do everything for their dog. The other person hates dogs. Of course it will not work. You can be highly sexually attractive, but if the dog situation will break you apart, I don't know, just say no, it's okay. Just say, hey, we vibe very well together, but if you do not like the dog situation, it just cannot happen because that's important to me. And this is where you set healthy boundaries, because do protect yourself from a failure, basically. I mean, it's a silly example, I know, but you know, right? It's a silly example, but it kind of shows like, this is a boundary that I have. If you don't like dogs and this is so important to me, then it cannot happen. And that is okay, because there's so many people who love dogs. You will find someone. It's just like getting on the same page with multiple things, and also like that you care about, that are important to you. If it's important to you to spend a lot of time together, and the other person prefers to be more by themselves and stuff, of course it will cause trouble. If you are willing to work on it, on both sides, always on both sides, by the way, it can work out. But it's always a good thing to know, where are we, which is what is our page, where are we on in the book, and to come closer together if both parties, no matter the gender, want to work on it. And a relationship, if you want to hear it or not, is a lot of work. I already experienced that a couple times. It was not the greatest experiences. And it's a lot of work that both parties have to do. Like, if only you work on it, that will not work out. If only you work on the relationship, that will not work out a lot. It's a two-party car. It's a two-seater car. So both should be aware where it's going.
In response, but pretending hatred has zero consequences is naive as well.
I can guarantee you 99% of will not be affected by misandry in any way in their life, unless they just up and kill themselves just because a girl told them like, oh, I hate men. Like, come on, grow up. So you're too weak.
I don't know what his point is. I have a lot of struggle understanding him, to be honest. That's okay.
Bro, for real.
Okay, so this is true in the same way that it's true with that girl before. If we were talking about, okay, this man, he emotionally, physically, whatever, abused me, and then she was talking about her experience, okay, that's one thing. But what we just listened to was a bunch of psychobabble bullshit about energies. Okay, the energy was off. I don't want to look at him because of the energy. I'm scared about what he's thinking. I'm scared of how he's looking at me. See, that's different, and that falls into this category of you being so sensitive to how people perceive you. What
women can also have these thoughts about you, and people need to realize that.
People think.
Everybody's thinking bad or good or neutral about you, and you cannot control it, so stop fuzzing about it.
How people look at you, it doesn't matter what your gender is. If that affects you that much, you have a problem. You are the problem.
I don't want to sound like a pick-me. You know those videos where women are posting their spouses doing just things, and everyone in their comments is telling her to leave him, basically. My issue.
Those are staged sometimes, by the way.
Issue with that is, why do women feel so comfortable telling a woman on the internet that they don't know to leave him when we should be telling her to beat?
And what if this was a guy who said this? To beat her. You would get that video taken down in a second.
How is she even, where's the thought process coming from?
100%, but because it's a girl saying
That's not normal.
Haha.
This is so dangerous for this whole situation already.
I'm all for haha, as long as there's equality, because I'm a feminist. So if you think women can do it, men should be able to do it too. Then we can all haha together, right? Right? But unfortunately, that's not the case. And I don't like hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I don't care who it's coming from. I'll give you an example. I spoke about the AI girlfriends that some men have become obsessed with, okay? And how unhealthy that is. And how that feeds into addiction and how Elon Musk is profiting off of that. I spoke about it, and some men were like, oh, you're being sexist, this must mean you hate men, why don't you talk about the women have their bots too? I did, and if you look back a few videos before, you would have seen it. So everyone becomes sensitive.
Yeah, that, I mean, women also have the book boyfriends, so it's like, I mean, not specifically in the AI, but I'm pretty sure maybe an AI model on those kind of book boyfriends exists. Book boyfriends, if you don't know the term, if you read a smut book and you really like the character, some people call them their book boyfriends, basically, because they just exist in the book. But probably, I'm pretty sure, there are AI models based on those characters. So you can technically also have their bots. So it's also a double-sided thing.
Sensitive and gets their feelings hurt as soon as their gender is being criticized, which is ridiculous.
Also, you have no idea how much porn female can also watch. We just don't talk about it.
You should be able to say, yes, there are some serious issues with modern day men, just like there are some serious issues with modern day women. If you are protecting your side, your gender, no matter what, even though you know there are some serious problems we have to
It's harmful for the whole situation.
talk about, you're not being honest.
Yeah.
You're being a crybaby. You're being sensitive. Okay? It doesn't matter what your gender is. The same thing applies here. The women can make all the jokes they want, kill men, beat the men. When the men do it, take it down. That's sexist. This is sexist too, bitch. Either censor it all or don't censor any of it.
Sexism against men also exists, and those were a lot of examples for it.
I think some of these misandrists actually wish that they were toxic men. They don't want to become a healthy, empowered, independent woman who recognizes the worth of both men and women, sees both as human beings, a feminist. No, they want to be a misandrist because they want revenge. They want to be the most toxic, abusive, broken type of person, just like the men that probably abuse them, right? I feel like it's...
Yeah, maybe they want to go to be the alpha male as a female version. Do they have a name? I don't know.
Trying to flip the script and abuse random men because they have to pay for what happened to the woman.
And that is not fair, because you don't want to pay what a woman did to a man so that they treat you in a very rude and upsetting way, kind of thing.
Even that won't make you happy, girl. All right? If that's your issue, you need to go to a real therapist, a good psychiatrist, and figure it out there. Unpack it there, not take it out on random men.
If misandry is such a big problem, please answer these questions in the comments. Can you name one country that is led by a woman where men are not allowed to go outside without a female chaperone? Can you name a country where young boys as young as 6 years old are legally allowed to marry adult women? Can you name one country where 1 in 3 men are likely to be raped by a woman? Can you name a country where men are killed for having sex before marriage? Can you name a country where women kill more than 3 men per week? Can you name a country where men are forbidden from using any form of contraception? Can you name a country where the majority of all murders of men are committed by women? I could go on, but you get the point.
And this is why we need feminism.
Yeah, I agree to that. I couldn't say anything to it because those questions, of course, were completely... they're true in many ways. But they're specifically put together that you can always just say, no, you can't name a country, basically. No, I can't name it because it doesn't exist. And that's why we need to work on it. We cannot just blame someone. We need to grab it together, hold hands, no matter the gender. I'm counting every gender in because that's important too. Like I learn a lot about my body because of our trainee who is a transgender male. Like I can ask him questions. He's very comfortable with it. That's really nice. And I can just ask him things like, hey, how was it for you when you started taking your hormone medication? And like, for example, you didn't have your period anymore. How was that for you? And it's so empowering to hear this perspective because you learn something about your body. You get experiences that you never had before, which we need to make this bridge together. We need all of us to make this bridge. So we need to all hold hands and work on a good page that we can stand on, and then we can do something about a lot of issues we have as a society.
Because these are real issues that women and young girls face around the world. But this is not why we need misandry, though. Severe misogyny in parts of the world should not be used as an excuse to normalize casual misandry everywhere. Of course, men are not oppressed by women on the same institutional scale that women have been oppressed by men historically, obviously. But that does not mean prejudice.
That does not mean that we have to do now the same with men, because it will just it will just make the imbalance even more imbalanced. It will just create a gender war that is already going on and just puts more fuel into it, and this will not go anywhere. Something like that. We cannot use this to justify bad behavior towards men who never did anything, who are just living their life, trying to find a partner who's like loving them. Maybe they want to have a house, which is a bit difficult in this economy, but it's fair to want it. Maybe to want a kid. That is all good and fine. And this is what we we need to teach the values again that are a bit lost. Empathy, self-respect. Also the knowledge that we are all not perfect and our partners are not there to fix that. This is also a thing. This is something that a lot of people need to learn, actually. So I saw that too many times. Those are values we need to teach and preach to improve a little bit. And this is all things we have in control. I have control over how much empathy I want to show towards someone. I have control over to work on myself, to feel good about myself, and then let other people into my life because I can stand on my own 2 feet, for example. This is all good values that are a little bit sinking down into a place where I'm a bit scared that we will not have getting them back up at some point if it gets worse and worse and worse. This is what we have to work on, and not which man is looking weirdly at you because maybe he has some weird thoughts about you. This is not something I can control, and it will happen with women as well.
You know, dehumanization, cruelty, all of that is suddenly fine because it's aimed in the other direction. It can't be, oh, my side has suffered more, therefore I'm allowed to be hateful now. Also, a lot of these examples involve specific countries, legal systems, right? Religious extremism, violent crime, cultural practices. The conclusion cannot be, therefore, I can now hate random men. A man working at Starbucks.
Or I can hate a specific religion, or I can hate a specific country. Because there are so many normal people. You have no clue how many normal people there are.
For example, he is not responsible for child marriage laws across the world. Your brother, your father, your friend, your coworker, they are people.
They're just
people. You can acknowledge women suffering, fight actual misogyny, which 100% still exists, but still refuse to generalize and despise half the population. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to make more videos like this, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Like and share the
This is concerning. That's what I think about this video. I mean, I like the video overall because Misha is pushing also towards gender equality, this part of the feminism, which I'm also very, very much standing on, basically. Like, we're all people, we all want happiness, we all want fulfillment, we all have our dreams, and that is okay. And this is okay to have. And we all deserve it. But we cannot achieve them by pushing others away, by neglecting big parts of, like, say, of a gender, big parts of a religion, whatever. You name it. This is not how we achieve that. We achieve it by starting to put more understanding, learning about these countries, or about the gender, or learning about their difficulties, learning about the struggles. Why is it like that? The females are picking the bear instead of the man in the forest. You should ask the question why, and then put empathy into it to form an understanding. And this is where where we can start working to fix that. And also maybe report if you see something like this, just report it, so that the platforms, if enough people report content like that, which is just sexist, not specifically to, like, you can be sexist towards men. That is happening. It's a real thing. You need to report it if you want to. Or you just block it away. If it doesn't get any clicks because a lot of people block it away, the platform will also not push it further. We have to stop pushing those kind of things further. Those are things we have in control, and those are things we should focus on. Okay, I will stop rambling. Thank you for watching. What are your thoughts on? I'm pretty sure we're on the same page in many cases. I'm pretty sure we're on this is something I am assuming now, and not even allegedly. I'm pretty sure we all have some thinking, and I hope this video will also be found by some females who can give us some input. But I'm pretty sure we all think that we should work towards gender equality. And this is not something because of the LGBTQ. If you just only focus on man and female, we need to push on equality. But we also need, of course, include LGBTQ. Just saying that. Yeah, I will stop now. My voice is crackling. I wish you a good day. Be safe. Drink some water. I see you on the next one. Bye bye.